Welcome into another edition of the Why Start a podcast. This is episode 4 already on this. So I flip this back over, hide it away. That's Will Galvez. I'm Braden Surprenant. That's Matt Perez. A little bit of a live reaction to the Aztec game from earlier tonight. And without further ado, I'm going to let our resident Aztec kind of take us through that while I get us back on Instagram, because I don't know why that seems to fail all the time. But Will, tough loss tonight. What's your overall reaction to the text?
Yeah, I don't know if we struggle with Instagram more or against Utah State in Utah. God, that was not. You look at the Aztecs, who are now 1-5 in their last 6 road games, and that lone win was against a woeful Air Force team. And even then, I feel like we underachieved in that game. I understand the disparity in the home and road splits for college basketball this year. I don't know if it's just a pattern. I don't know if it's nil. I can't put a finger on it at all. But tonight, I mean, you look at the backcourt, I still feel like we're undersized when you have like Trammell and Butler. Ledee, it just seems that in these type of tough environment road games, he has to be Superman, right? Like if he's not putting up, a 20-point double-double, and I'm pulling up his stats right now just to double check. And even if he did, it's just not, we need contributions from everyone else. Reese Waters is too streaky. I don't know what I'm getting with Micah Parrish. I don't know. Miles Byrd had a pretty solid game. He was meeting people at the rim, which was great, but I just, you have to become concerned at some point. And I realize that it's only February, towards the end. And we're coming to an end actually of the month. Conference play is always tough. We're still going to have a decent amount of bids to get into the, March Madness, but man, Braden and Matt, I don't care if it's Washington State or TCU or whoever the hell it is, you cannot have that big of a disparity on the road. I know it's a tough environment, but man, you got to show something there.
It's very difficult to win road games in college basketball. I mean, that's just a fact. There's a couple other things at play. Obviously, it's very interesting to see, but nonetheless, I had Bryce Miller on my show on Friday when I filled in for the morning show, and Bryce Miller, flat out said like the major difference between Jaden Ledee at home and Jaden Ledee on the road, it's like two totally different players, and a lot of it has to do with the fact he's either getting fouls, like he gets foul calls at home, or he doesn't get foul calls, which usually happens on the road, which is a major thing in college basketball. So Ledee tonight, though, 23 points, 8 for 13 from the field, 7 for 9 from the free throw line. I mean, he got to the line enough. But as you mentioned, Will, this Aztec team in general, they're going to go as far as, at this point, Jaden Ledee is going to take him because they haven't had anybody else step up. And if that's going to be
their best player,
if that's going to be the case, though, they're not going to go very far. They need Jay Powell to not score 4 points. He needs to score more than 4 points as a starter. Darian Trammell can't end the game with 6 points. Micah Parrish can't end the game with 2 points. You can't have 0 out of Lamont Butler. I mean, Butler was 0 for 5 from the field tonight, 0 for 3 from the three-point line. He did get a couple of boards and a couple of steals, but at the end of the day, I mean, you need guys like him to contribute. You got 10 out of Bird and 11 out of Waters, but you got to give Jaden Ledee some help. And if you're not going to give him any help, this Aztec team is going to be out of the tournament very quickly.
The starters, they went 0 for 8 combined. There's for a three-pointer. Didn't make one three-pointer, and they attempted less than 10 three-point shots. That's terrible. It's 2024. What? I'm trying to keep my composure here because I don't think a lot of people are Utah State fans. But man, that is, I guess the promise that's shining right now is the bench, because you have guys that like Bird and Saunders that can make plays, that are showing effort. But I agree, Reese Waters, you have to, because when you get to the tournament, they're going to hone in on Ledee. That there's no secret. This isn't rocket science. There's no, we're not, trying to outsmart anybody. They obviously know that he's going to be probably the conference player of the year, and he's well deserving of it. So any smart team that's going to end up facing them. And I mean, I saw projections as high as like a 4 seed. So whether it's a 4 through a 6 seed that they get slated, whoever the opponent is, they're obviously going to hone in on him. Who's going to step up? Who's it going to be? I don't know who it's going to be.
They don't have that that next player and that next man up mentality right now for the Aztecs. I mean, if you're going to look at the overall stats, I mean, it was basically Ledee, and that was it. It was Ledee against Utah State, and if you're going to make a run in the NCAA tournament, you got to get contributions from other players on this club, and they haven't seen that. You haven't seen that out of them all year. I mean, you haven't seen them all year. And they took a tough loss tonight at Utah State. It's very difficult to win on the road in conference play. We've talked about that before, but I am very shocked at San Diego State, looking at the standings, how they have. I mean, they've only won like 2 games on the road in conference play. Everybody else that's top in the conference, they split with. They split with all these teams because they beat them at home, because Viejas is one of the. I mean, it is the most difficult place to play in the Mountain West. And then they went on the road and they lost to Nevada, and they lost to Boise State, and they lost to Utah State, obviously, tonight. They lose to Colorado State. They lose to New Mexico. I mean, they lost on the road to every single team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament out of the Mountain West Conference, and they're 4-7 on the road. That's one of the worst records in the Mountain West, aside from like Wyoming, who's not even coming close to playing to an NCAA tournament, and like San Jose State, who's 1-9. I mean, 4-7 is not going to get the job done more times than not. The other thing too, maybe he will get more calls when it comes to NCAA tournament time, because in the tournament time, you sneeze on a guy and it's going to be a foul. But they got to be able to get some type of production out of other players on this team besides Jaden Ledee.
I mean, they're gonna just basically leave open shots for these other guys. And I know I'm kind of overreacting in the moment because, it's conference play and we're just in this really shitty lull of the sports season now that football's over. And so I'm really hoping there's no NBA on. So I think I'm a little cranky with that. But no, Braden, you touched on every point, and it doesn't get easier. It does not get any easier from here on out. And then we have, when they go to, Thomas and Mack to play the conference tournament, and then wherever they get slated, for March Madness. Oh man. It's just the Jekyll and Hyde. It's almost like what we saw with the Padres last season. It is so infuriating sometimes because, yes, home sweet home. I love it. Viejas, it's firing in the crowd and it's beautiful. Good teams win on the road and they find ways to win. And it may be ugly and it might not be the sexiest or best style points, but what matters? Wins. That's what matters. And they haven't showed it. And I just. At what point do you flip the switch? I mean, come on, we're about less than 10 days now from the month being over, and it's March, so it's
the thing that's
sweating. Why am I sweating? It's 9:00 right now. I'm sweating.
The thing that sucks about this game, obviously, is it puts you really behind the 8 ball if you want to win the conference outright, and that honestly, that's the only thing that really matters to me if you're an Aztec fan, because the tournament's whatever. I mean, they're already going to make the NCAA tournament. The actual Mountain West tournament, I mean, that's a crapshoot anyway. And to be honest with you, the least amount of games that San Diego State can play before the NCAA tournament is probably the better. Keep the legs fresh, keep everybody fresh. But, to be a game back from Utah State now, I mean, granted, they could tie and theoretically split it because they did beat Utah State at home, but they're going to need the Aggies to drop another game here. And you talked about it with the schedule. I mean, they got Fresno State, Air Force, San Jose State, and New Mexico. You're really relying on New Mexico to beat them, and they got to go to Logan in order to do that. So that's kind of where it lays out right now for Utah State. As for the Aztecs, after the loss tonight, dropped to 9-5 in conference play, 20-7 on the year, and they still got to play Boise State at home. And that game at UNLV might be a little bit tougher than they originally anticipated because UNLV started to come to life a little bit, even though they did lose in Nevada over the weekend, still at 7-5 in the conference. But Fresno State, San Jose State, UNLV, Boise State, that's going to come down to the last week for the Mountain West Conference Championship, I would imagine. Wouldn't be surprised if they got knocked out of that top 4 spot in terms of the seeds, but they are going to make the NCAA tournament. We know that for a fact. It would have been nice to win this one, but going to have to flush it.
They're 13-0 at home. I mean, yeah, that's beautiful, and
That's
I'm
not
so
that.
happy.
I mean, that's not surprising, right?
And I know it's not, but you just flip to the other side of the coin. They're 4-7 on the road, and then you start factoring conference play. That we're not panicking here. No one's panicking. We never do that. We're gonna stay cool, calm, and collected. But I guess it's just upsetting, right? Like they obviously had the better roster, on paper, and everyone always talks about that, and that's not what matters when it comes down to it. Can you get a win? Can you go on the road in a hostile environment and do it? And I'll give it to them. It's a tough place to play, the altitude, different time zone. They didn't get it done. I mean, I'm just God, looking at the scoring splits, like you got to get more from the starters. That is like unacceptable. I feel like a parent right now. This sucks. I'm still sweating.
Guys driving his kid home saying like that performance was just completely unacceptable.
There's no ice cream for Lamont.
Yeah,
Butler
exactly.
tonight.
Yeah, it's like how far is your head up your ass? Like, come on, what is that?
The other thing too that sucks for San Diego State is they've had to play a bunch of teams on the road in which those teams on the road you got their back against the wall and they're trying to fight their way through. That's just unfortunate. But here's the thing. Every one of these road losses for San Diego State, the game for the other team was way more important than it was for the Aztecs. Not like they were treating it any differently, but they needed that game more than San Diego State needed that game. And you could say that as much as you want, but at the end of the day, when you get to tournament time, I mean, that's like everybody, you can't, it's not just gonna be a time where you just turn it, like just flip it on. No, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, now we got to go. Now we got to play. It's a tough loss. It's a tough night on a Tuesday night. I mean, there's battles going on all over the place. I mean, I'm sweating through this TCU Texas Tech game. It's 80-79 with 14 seconds left. Baylor's getting through a tough game, and BYU, they end up losing to BYU by 7 points. It's the beauty of college basketball and conference play, man. It's hard to win on the road. I think UConn got run out of the building tonight against Creighton. Matt had the great fun fact about UConn playing ranked road games.
It was a stat that was thrown up in the game before in the Nova Butler game, and I didn't believe it when I saw it. But UConn has not won on the road against a ranked opponent since 2014.
Really?
10 years.
Really?
I mean, UConn did have a little bit of a lull, right? After they were at their peak in like 2013-ish. But you got to think about all the ranked Big East teams that they played. The Villanovas, the Seton Halls. I mean, Providence was ranked for a little. I mean, you would assume that they would have gotten one, and then they come out against a ranked Creighton team, and they looked atrocious.
They got run out of the building, dude, for sure. They got absolutely run out of the building. But that, I mean, that's
Red was on that game.
That's what happens in conference.
Matt, read that stat for me one more time. Read it out loud. Say that stat again.
Since 2014, UConn has not beaten a ranked opponent on the road.
Wow. That I would have never guessed that. That's, man, talk about alarming. That's insane. Almost over a decade.
I mean, last year they won the national title. They did it without beating a ranked team on the road.
Good. I hope, you know what? I hope it's another 10 years that they that's exactly right. Good for Creighton. And that's the Big East, man. The de facto sixth, what do they say?
The sixth power
conference
for basketball.
Yeah, UConn gets smoked tonight. Big 12 is just a battle each and every night. I mean, BYU got run out of the building by Oklahoma State on Saturday, who's the worst team in the conference, and then tonight they host Baylor and they beat them by 7. TCU and Texas Tech, an absolute battle. You saw Iowa State struggle with Houston kicked their ass last night. And
Iowa State didn't even look like they deserved to be on the court. I mean, that's at one point it was that bad.
And I've watched that team throttle school. I mean, they've throttled schools this year, but it's I think, just overall in the landscape of college basketball right now, I just think you just got a lot of parity right now in college basketball. I mean, there's not like UConn and Purdue are like the top 2 squads, right? But Purdue hasn't looked like unbeatable.
They've lost on Sunday.
They've looked pathetic at some times. I mean, UConn tonight gets hammered. I mean, Arizona, who's a top 4 team, has struggled in Pac-12 play. I mean, they lost to Stanford they should never lose to Stanford in basketball ever. And they lost to Stanford. I mean, Stanford should barely even have sports right now, and they lost to Stanford in hoops. Houston. Houston lost like 2 in a row in the Big 12 before they ultimately, went on to go on the roll they are. TCU just lost to Texas Tech by like 3 points. I mean, it's just unreal. Unreal.
Is this why we love college basketball, though?
Well, the thing is, it's like with college sports, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, I just feel like they're like the playing field has gotten more and more even over the last couple of years, especially in football and men's basketball.
Just for the sake of the conversation for basketball, because football is a whole different beast, but like, I would say now, do you say that because of because of the transfer portal? Like, how do you justify that it's opened, like the field's gotten bigger?
How do I feel like it's been more parity? I mean, just watching the games. I mean, there's no like in college football. I mean, Georgia, the first year of it was this year, where like there wasn't really one dominant team. I mean, Georgia didn't like dominate a lot. I mean, they probably should have still been in the playoff, but that's a different topic for a different That's a different topic for a different day.
The Florida State fans are just like rolling on the ground right now.
Right, but like it was wide open. It wasn't like the years where like Alabama was destroying everybody and nobody had a shot. And I think the same thing with college basketball. I mean, San Diego State in the national championship game last year.
Yeah.
And UConn wasn't like,
you had FAU in the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, you had teams like going on rolls, and a lot of the top teams were eliminated early in the tournament.
We had a 16 seed beat a 1 seed last year.
Yeah, I mean,
and then Purdue beat Arizona, or Princeton beat Arizona. They were 15 seed. Like,
so overall, it's becoming, a more level playing field. To go back to your other question, and I totally agree with this, is I think a lot of it has to do with NIL and the transfer portal and, social media nowadays and kind of all of those things. There's no more like regional schools dominating their area, right? Like USC back in the day was the best school to go to in college football in Southern California. They'd get the pick of the litter all the time and nobody was going to out recruit them. But now like everybody recruits Southern California, right? All the top programs recruit heavily out of Southern California and Texas and Florida, and all the big national programs are all over the place. And they get all the big high school players because they can afford the NIL. And then the players that fail to, I really don't like using the word fail, but fail to, be a starter or be the guy at these big schools, transfer out, and they're still really talented players. And now they find themselves at Group of 5 schools, or they find themselves at other Power 4 schools that, maybe didn't have the resources to get these kids when they're coming out of high school. And everybody develops at different times in their life. So it opens the door for a level playing field. So as much as I think the transfer portal is out of control and I think NIL is out of control, some of the benefits are like seeing what you saw with San Diego State last year, making the national championship game, and seeing a lot of these schools no longer dominate. I mean, when's the last time we've seen like that Kentucky one and done team just bury everybody? You just don't see it right now. And that I do think is a big step in the direction for college athletics.
Speaking of Kentucky, it's so crazy. I was watching them over the weekend. It's like, and there's other programs too, probably like 2 or 3 more in college basketball. I just dip my finger in candle wax and I can't find anything to wipe my finger on.
I'm sorry. Hold on. You what?
Why are you?
You what?
Why are you touching candles?
What is it? Look, show your finger. What? You did what?
I have a candle that's right here.
Sticky stuff.
Okay, I have a candle. Hello, yes, and it was distracting me in my view, so I went to move it, but I was looking at the screen still, and I put my hand in it, and okay, the wax fell off. We're good. The wax fell off the finger. That was really nasty. Sorry.
Is this like are you like putting your finger in your drink for the troops? Is that what you're doing? You just do it with your candle?
Look, there's my finger hole right there.
The guy left a divot in the candle.
Yeah, fix your divot, bud. What?
Dude, I was trying. Okay, I completely derailed us. I'm sorry. That was
Scravy derail moment from Nate Taylor on Instagram. You know about that.
Oh, wow. All right. Well,
The guy that used to work with
it's a good
Matt
smelling
Scraby,
candle,
Will
though.
Galvez, just pulled a Matt Scraby. Are you gonna say like look outside? It's like, oh man, it's really coming down outside. The rain.
It was raining.
It was raining.
Or like I remember there was one
Great.
time he's like, Joe Mauer just retired, and Tony and Chris were like, who the hell cares? All right, sorry boys, that was my
That's
bad.
you with the candle.
Yeah, huge
That's
candle
brutal.
guy. Huge
Candle guy. Do you like
Yeah.
the
You got to set the vibes.
he's doing that with his he'd set the vibes where he talks to his buddies on a podcast.
He had a big time Aztec game.
Yeah, he had to try to like, get comfortable, relax.
I needed
a
to
nice
cleanse.
candle.
Yeah, I had to cleanse, the universe in this room because I was fucking sweating and it was bad. So sorry, I apologize. That was
all right. Let's get back on track.
You,
here to the
did you have a
Wildcats here, Will?
Do you have a nice Merlot on the side? Is that
Merlot? I wish. I think I need some Merlot. Yeah, I'll get some more. Have a nice little glass. Really just tempt the palate here. No, but yeah, it's parity with college basketball. I mean, would you bet on maybe like a 1 or a 2 seed losing again the first round this year? I mean, I feel like it's totally conceivable. Like I would. You're gonna get.
Purdue could
I was
totally
gonna say
lose,
Purdue's
dude.
the first team that comes to mind.
Yeah.
There's no way they do it 2 years in a row. There's no way. They're gonna be focused. Like I don't know. It's the amount of parity is crazy, and I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I think for our sake, it's fun to talk about.
It's a great thing.
I don't know.
What's not good about it? The playing field's leveled for like
You
a
wanna
school
see
like
Duke and
yours
Kentucky in there
to
all the
like
time?
compete. I mean,
No,
look
I
at
don't want to see Duke.
Matt
Kentucky.
Perez has been insufferable as a top 25 Washington State fan over here. I've had to listen to him chirp at me for the last 2 weeks.
Well, so
Enjoy
that's
the moment,
thing,
Matt,
right?
because I don't. Washington State they haven't been to the dance. When was the last time they were in the dance?
Here you go. Well, here's a fun fact for you.
Yes,
It's been
please.
302 weeks since the Cougs were last ranked. 2008.
Okay,
And this guy's chirping at me because we
you convert that
were
to minutes
25
now?
in the coaches poll. We can't all play SC every week.
Well, we beat Arizona. But okay, so
We
here's
beat
the
Houston. I
point.
mean, what are we
Going
doing
back
here?
to like what you just said about kids leaving.
No, they're not the conference, but
The Cougs lost their two best players last year to big time schools, Villanova and
Mhm.
USC, and they reload with kids from junior college and kids from D2, and they're 20-6 right now and are ranked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but it's like the grass isn't always greener for these kids that get $1 million plus offers to go play to all these different schools. Like, yeah, it's great. But you also got to think about like the coach, the scheme, the school, like everything that like has worked for you for the last 3 to 4 years. There's a reason why it worked. And it's not going to be the same just because you're at a school surrounded by 4 and 5 stars,
I think it's a big reason why San Diego State's so successful.
Yeah.
Because they live in the transfer portal. I mean, like TCU basketball, like my entire time being a TCU student and alum has been miserable until Jamie Dixon took it over. But he found the majority of they have found the majority of their success in the transfer portal. Their entire roster are transfers. They go and they get guys from all over the country to go play for them. That's a big reason why San Diego State is so successful.
where did Jaden Delete? Where did Ledee come from? The transfer
TCU,
portal.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he couldn't cut it at TCU, and now he's the Aztecs' best player. I mean, but it's a different topic. But no, he's a great.
Malachi Flynn back in the day from Washington State.
From Washington State.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Wasn't Xavier Thames
Thames is a
Washington Coug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's like San Diego State North.
Washington State's the farm system for
that's right for the Aztecs
for all college basketball on the West Coast. Yeah, just go wherever after you get out of Pullman, you'll be okay.
I know the end result wasn't very good, but how did TCU get to the national championship in football? The transfer portal. They loaded up on transfers. They got a bunch of kids. They did the same thing this year. That's why I like to bring it back to San Diego. I think San Diego State football is going to be great.
I'm so excited.
I love their head coach. I think Sean Lewis is the real deal. And he gets it. Like, he knows how to talk to young people. He understands how to, he gets the recruiting element to it. He understands the game you got to play that a lot of older coaches don't want to play. He embraces it. He understands. I mean, at the same time, and he's talked about it. I mean, like, does he like everything about it? No. but he understands that this is how you get kids to play for your school now. Like, you have to use, these are the rules. You have to use them to your advantage. If you don't like the rules and just pout about it, you could be crappy. Or you could be like Sean Lewis and be like, look, man, I got to go start raising money with NIL because I got to get some players. And he's done a good job of doing that. And it opens the door for these group of 5 schools to be relevant in a world where the Power 4 doesn't want them to be relevant.
And he doesn't sound like he has laryngitis like Brady Hoke, and you can understand him. I couldn't be more in on the Sean Lewis stock. I mean, I pulled all money out and just invested. And I'm excited because you make a great point. It's a different era now. And why do you see guys like Saban? And there's other reasons too. And, Chip Kelly leaving UCLA, it's a different era that requires a different style.
He left a head coaching job to be an offensive coordinator at another Power 5 school because UCLA,
in the same conference.
Yeah, UCLA was not giving him the resources he needed to recruit.
No,
he knew that. He was missing out on guys because he wasn't spending, right?
He's going to go to a real Big Ten school. Yeah, right. It's.
I've got a couple comments on Instagram. Are the Aztecs in a rebuild year, even if they make the dance? No, they're not.
No,
that team's too good, dude. They're pretty good.
It's too senior and upperclassmen heavy.
They're pretty good, dude. They're not. This is not a rebuild year. If this is a rebuild year for the Aztecs, that means they should be winning national championships every year. Cole Parker 19, TCU, San Diego State, sleeper Final 4 teams. TCU's only a Final 4 team if they can be consistent, which is not possible for them. Their transition plays nasty, but it's wide open. It's wide open.
You guys got hosed against Kansas. I think I'm just still pissed because I lost money on that game too. But
yeah, I did get hosed. I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it. All right, so we kind of recapped the Utah State game. I do want to talk about a Utah State alum who I'm sure is fired up about this game. Somebody can ask him tomorrow, and that's Jordan Love. We've spent like 2 weeks not talking about this, and we wanted to talk about this. So Jordan Love is working out here at Fitness Quest 10.
Ooh.
He's working out with Todd Durkin, who is founder of this gym, who now does a lot of different podcasts and training and development, motivational speaking, and everything runs with his brand of impact. And he does a lot of mentorships. He trains other trainers. He trains a lot of business people. I mean, he talks to a lot of Fortune 500 companies. And he does a really good job with that. And he does it right here in the studio. And it's a big reason why we're allowed to use the studio is because of everything that Impact does. So a big thank you to Todd Durkin, as always, for letting us use his facilities and Impact. I know he's got a webinar coming up soon, correct? Do we know the date on that?
Don't know the date on that.
We don't know the date on that. We got to
head to his website, find out more.
What's his website?
ToddDurkin.com.
ToddDurkin.com for more information on that. If you're interested on that, helping grow your company, helping, get the resources for your company in terms of output and attacking the day and get your mind right. Team Impact with Todd Durkin. He was sought out by Jordan Love to do training, if I'm not mistaken. We kind of talked about this with Todd off the mic. So Jordan Love, long story short, wants to train with Todd. Todd used to train Drew Brees. Drew Brees still goes to the gym. He was a big reason in LT's early success as a San Diego Charger, trained LT. I mean, there's so many guys. You can go down the list of NFL players. So Jordan Love's training here at Fitness Quest 10 now. And we all know who Jordan Love is, right? He's a Packer. He's a Green Bay Packer. He's from Bakersfield. I guess his girlfriend plays for the local volleyball team here in town, the San Diego Mojo. So he's in town and he's training. And it was literally the day after our first podcast. I was talking with Todd. I knew Jordan Love was showing up. This guy was going to the bathroom. He didn't know about the Jordan Love show up. So we all know Matt Perez is a big Cowboys guy. And that's just where I'm going to leave it. And Matt can take over the story about how the first time he met Jordan Love.
So next day, it's Wednesday. I come in to get my workout in. It's around the time that Jordan's coming in, and I'm wearing my Dallas Cowboys shirt as I usually do.
After wearing your Coug stuff the day before.
Yeah.
It could have been safe flipping the days.
Yeah, but
you didn't
I
know.
rep the Cowboys. I rep rain or shine or whatever. And one of the other guys in Todd's group, and I've known him for a couple years, he looks at me and he just starts laughing. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, oh, your buddy's coming in today. And I don't know who that means. And I'm like, who? And he goes, Jordan Love. And Todd just starts cracking up. He's like, oh, shoot, that's good. And I just kind of put my head down. I'm like, all right, I got to go see the guy that ended my season just about a month ago and ruined my dreams and sent me in a week-long state of sadness. So fast forward about 20 minutes, Jordan's here, and then he's talking to Todd and whatnot. And then Todd's like, hey, Matty, come here. I'm like, all right. He goes, Jordan, meet Matt, meet Todd, and then meet Jordan. And then the other guy in the group that was mentioned earlier, he just says to Jordan, he's knowing him, he goes, biggest Cowboy fan in the world right here. And Jordan just starts like laughing. But he's not laughing at me. He's kind of laughing with me, right?
Oh, he's laughing at you. He's
laughing at you.
Yeah, 100% was laughing at you.
So yeah, it's kind of a weird scenario where you got to, meet the guy that just ruined your football season after giving you 4 months of hope.
I mean, think about that for a second. How many Cowboys fans had to show up to work to get ridiculed by the starting quarterback of the team that knocked him out of the playoffs?
And like, it's not like the game was like 24-20 or something. I mean, it was a blowout. I couldn't even say anything to like.
He shredded you guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't say
it was an
anything.
ass
ifs,
kicking.
ands, or buts about it, man. He shredded you. I mean, if we put that into the context for the Charger fans, like to me, that would be like showing up to work or like school or something, right? Because this was on school after that 14-2 season, and like Rashae Caldwell was there to just talk shit. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, Will, how would you feel if you had a deal with Rashae Caldwell? He's like, yeah, we really didn't think we were going to get it right there, but thank God Marlon McCree fumbled the football. It saved our ass.
I have no response. No, it'd be RIP, by the way. But like it'd suck, and I can feel Matt's pain in his voice too. Because you're right, it's not some dipshit from accounting or some guy in the break room or someone on a Zoom that's talking a bunch of smack. I mean, it was the starting quarterback who, by the way, I was curious. I just looked this up. Jordan Love he's 14-1 to win the MVP, and I can't remember who the author was, but I was reading a piece on ESPN, and they're really high on him winning the MVP next year. And because they're so young and they're returning a large portion of the roster on both sides of the ball. Man, so Matt, that must have been that had to have been one of your better days in the last several months for sure.
What's that song? I've seen better days. That was Matt.
Exactly.
You played that on the way home. I'm sure he got smacked.
He seems like a
Jordan
good guy,
Love.
though. He's a good guy.
He seems super cool. Here's what's interesting to me, Will. Guy knows how to flush out games he loses, apparently, because I already graduated from Cathedral, and like when I was in college, the Dons went up to Bakersfield and played Jordan Love with like 26 kids. We had like 26 kids that night, and the Dons hammered Jordan Love. And I looked it up. I was like, I'm pretty sure he was on that team. And I looked it up. He had like terrible stats. The guy was colorblind. He threw 3 picks and fumbled the ball twice to the Dons. And so I asked Matt, I was like, you got to ask him about it. And Matt, he didn't really ask him about it. He was more like, hey, like, what do you like? What teams you know here down here in San Diego? He had no idea where Cathedral was. And he turned the ball over 5 times against the Dons his senior year, one of his only 3 losses as a high school starter.
He knew who Helix was, though.
Guy flushed it. Never played Helix in his life. He's never played Helix. Knows who Helix is. Cathedral,
wait, did you say he was colorblind?
He threw 3 picks and fumbled the ball twice. Colorblind.
Just
throwing to their jersey, dude. What?
Damn. And then of all schools to recruit him, Utah State, like of all schools, right? Like he probably had a decorated career. I don't know like his high school stats off the top of my head.
But man, he really dedicated. It's just not against the Dons, apparently, on the thing.
Wait, so Matt, did you have to like spot him while he was squatting too, and like re-rack the weights, or no? Was it just a quick like drive by? Hey, Let me
No,
meet
it
you
was just
really
a quick little
Okay.
meet and greet. Make sure he knows me as Matt, the sad Cowboy fan.
You're just the cow. It's better than Kirk, though, dude. At least
Yeah.
you're not.
I
On,
gotta be
let me
hey,
ask you
hey,
this:
do you know who this guy is?
What's worse, Will? Do you know about our buddy Kirk, Alex Kirkwood?
Is he the guy? He's like the
He's on
viral
Twitter.
guy, right? That
Yes, he's
that
on
Stephen
Twitter all the
A
time.
makes fun of every
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
he's a Padres fan. He sits out in left field. He is. He went to Cathedral. I've known him for a long time now. It's good friend. Saw him at the Santa Clara USD game. Knew he was going to be there as a Santa Clara Bronco alum. He's probably at the Utah State San Diego State game because he's a big Aztec fan. I don't know how he affords to go to all these games. He's got to the World Cup. He goes to all this stuff. I think he just walks in. Doesn't he just walk in?
He walked into the Cowboy Charger.
He walked into the
game
Cowboy Charger game without a
last
ticket.
fall.
What?
At SoFi. He just walked in.
Is he
No
born and
ticket.
raised in San Diego?
Yeah.
So how does that work? How are you a diehard Padres fan and then a Cowboys fan? Like, come on.
It has something to do with his dad, I think, because he's also an Arkansas fan. I mean, we'd have to have
I don't
Kirk.
understand fans these days. I guess you could be a fan of anything, really. That's just,
We'd have to have Kirk on
what
the show
combo
to get
is
the
that?
full. The Santa Clara, San Diego State, Arkansas, San Diego Padre.
Dallas Cowboy,
Is he a Lakers fan?
Laker fan.
Lakers
No,
fan?
no.
I
He's a
thought,
Kobe fan.
Oh, he's a Kobe fan.
Anti-LeBron.
That's like freaking
Anti-LeBron.
Marlins man. That's like Marlins man being at like a Diamondbacks Padres game. Like, why is he there? Like, he has no, like, I understand like the whole bit, but
He just goes to he goes to the big games. But anyway, back to Kirk. What's worse? Having the starting quarterback of the team that eliminated your favorite team from the postseason talking shit to you at work, or getting made fun of by Stephen A. Smith on national television as the crying Cowboys fan without giving you an outlet to defend yourself.
I think it would be the former, the first one. The Stephen A.
That's
it
worse.
sucks. I think
you get some FaceTime though, which is nice.
You get FaceTime, and there's no such thing as bad pub. But no, the in-person interaction with, I mean, that would be like me having to talk to like Mahomes, like after he just beat us. Like I couldn't do it, and it sucks too because
Hey man,
I like him as a person. After watching like the Netflix thing, the quarterback show, I just wish he was like in the NFC.
You got that?
I got that too,
dude. I
don't have any problem.
I
with
got
him.
like I hate this guy. I was never like against Mahomes, and then I saw the quarterback thing, and I'm like, oh no, I'm out. I actually earned more. I gained more respect from for his wife than I did for him.
Oh, he needs to get into divorce. Like he just needs to divorce,
dude. He's been with this chick forever, though. It's like it's not like she just showed up when he was good at football.
Since, like, high school.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, respect. All right.
No, as soon as he cuts her out, like
you know what? It's their high school sweethearts.
He went to Texas Tech and he didn't get Raider rash.
The dad to a drinking program.
He had a
like,
girlfriend already.
Fine.
No, I gained more respect for Brittany Mahomes than I did Patrick. Patrick, he was just so fake, dude. Like, I don't like the whole like. I don't know. The thing with Crosby was very interesting. Like he like whined like a little bitch about it. And then after the game, he's like, "Oh, you're my dog, though. You're my dog." It's like, dude, don't be so fake like all the time. I just like no. BS. Like, don't give me that shit.
I
don't know.
I didn't. Player is the thing.
I respect him as an athlete for sure. He's legit.
I just wish he wasn't. I wish he was in the NFC. It would be awesome. Like it would be.
No, it wouldn't. I love that he's in the AFC West. It's the best thing to ever happen.
I think him and Andy Reid is like the same perfect match as Brady and Belichick. I think
it's just like a perfect storm.
You need the yin and yang. Like, it's perfect. It's perfect. I don't know if Andy Reid has the same success without Mahomes. I don't know if Mahomes has the same success without Andy Reid.
He didn't have any. Well, he had success before Mahomes, but not winning Super Bowl success.
He had. I mean, he
got there.
This is the quarterback. This is the quarterback that he's always wanted.
Yeah,
that works for his system. But I could be. I think it's like a perfect match, and I think if the match ends, it might end. But
can I ask you guys really fast? So this was the first week after football season. We kind of talked about this before we got on. This has to be the worst time of the sports year, right? Like when there's no NBA on and it's after football season.
Well,
it's like now.
The month of February sucks.
I was gonna say it's from now until about conference championship week
when
all the basketball tournaments are going on, which is like a month.
This is the worst time of the year, dude.
It's a long time.
This is the worst
Is this the worst time of the year? Or August? Is August the worst time?
No, August is great.
How is August great? There's nothing in August.
You got football's coming around the corner. You got football. You get college football at the end of August. I got high school football as soon as August starts. So like I'm dialed in. You got baseball going on. I mean, there's a lot going on.
No, that's the dog days. That's the August.
Yeah, but
is the
it's
worst
still February is way worse.
But you had the
at least in August, but at least in August, dude, you got like good weather and stuff. It's the summertime, the sun's out longer, like you could do stuff. Like February.
So you're being considerate of East Coast people right now, because in San Diego, there's no difference between August and February. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is. It hadn't stopped raining in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, the rain has been a bad thing.
February is the
worst.
February is the worst month for sports. It is the worst. The Super Bowl, dude. The Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest with you, it doesn't do that much for me. It's like a party.
3 hours in the whole month.
Yeah, it's come on. The guy, I like the Daytona 500. It's not gonna make or break my February. It's the worst month of all of sports because you got the lull of. I mean, NHL and the NBA don't start the playoffs until April, right?
Yep.
End of April. End of April. I mean, they're like barely halfway through the season. College basketball, as great as tonight was and as great as conference play is,
it's a lull.
You want tournament time, and you still got like weeks to go. I mean, you got a month to go before you even, what's the 20th? Yeah. I mean, we usually start on March 20th, 21st, 19, 20, like around that range. Anywhere between March 17th to whatever, 25th is like the first round of March Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a month. I mean, that sucks. I mean, as much as you're living and dying on these games, they don't really matter when you got a team that's going to make the tournament. I mean, this game didn't matter to San Diego State. And like in the grand scheme of things, like aside from like the seeding, you're just waiting for tournament time. And then baseball is just enough of a tease. You're like, hey, look, baseball's back. And the next day you're like, all right, when did the players show up? And then you're like, all right, cool. Position players showed up. And then they're like, all right, when's the first game? And you're like, oh, it's about a week. And then they play the first game. And you're like, all right, cool. When do they like get like 3 at-bats each? Yeah. And then you're like, and then about like 2 weeks into spring training, you're like, is it opening day yet? No, we still got a month of this shit. We got to sit through this for another month.
Spring training is way too long.
It's way too long. Those guys can get dialed. Those guys can get dialed so much faster than that.
Going to spring training is fun though. After living out here, it's a good time. It's a good excuse to not go to work and just enjoy the sun and a couple beers. Yeah, I think you make a good point. February is pretty bad. August rivals it. I'll die.
I like August, dude, but I got high school football in August. Friday Night Lights in August is pretty cool. Here's some comments in the chat. Worst 2 weeks by far, according to Cole Parker 19. Elisa says February is worse. Cole Parker goes Friday Night Lights in August. Greater than sign. And then he also says at least we have college baseball now. I do like college. I'm a college baseball fan after going to TCU and now like working with USD. Are you a college baseball fan after working in it?
I am, but I don't pay as much attention to it after leaving as I probably should.
If the Cougs are better, would you?
Yeah, or if I could watch all their games on ESPN Plus or something. Yeah, like I could. But like, I mean, I'll be paying attention to like how they're doing.
I like college baseball, dude. That shit's fun. I was watching the Frogs today on ESPN Plus. Like all their games on ESPN Plus now, and like I can watch. And it's
that's what I'm saying. If it was accessible for me to tune in.
Yeah, the play-by-play guy and the color guy are the same every time. It's just your local broadcast. I mean, I like kind of flip it on like it's the Padres, right? It's just like my local team. So I do enjoy college baseball. Will, have you ever gotten into college baseball?
When I was at San Diego State working for KCR College Radio, I got to call a couple games. It was cool, but I just no. I mean, I'm not gonna front. No. Like I'm not probably watching any college baseball until maybe the super regionals. And I would love to go to that. That's definitely something I want to see in person. On TV though, it's just like the NBA honks that don't like college basketball. I feel the same. Like, no, I want to watch professional baseball. Like, I want to see the best players on the field. I don't know if it's because I just grew up watching it. I'm not dogging college baseball. It's great. I love the camaraderie. It's just like any other college sport. There's different energy and atmosphere. But February, okay, so we are declaring that February is the worst calendar sports month by a landslide.
Worst by everything. It is the worst.
But it has, Braden, it has your favorite holiday. You know, a couple weeks ago, I know it's past, but February, there's you know,
the Daytona 500, Super Bowl Sunday.
The Cupid's Day, your favorite.
No, that is not my holiday. That might be your holiday.
Absolutely
going
not.
To Scottsdale. What?
I think we're all single here. So
that's right.
Really,
it's not.
I didn't
not
even
a factor
know it was
on my
Valentine's
radar.
Day a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh shoot, it's Valentine's Day.
That means you didn't have a Valentine.
You just see your stories.
It was Wednesday.
Just full of
the week.
Stupid couples posts.
We got to transition here as we're getting to the end of our broadcast. Do you want to rank or draft first? This drafting might be a little difficult.
Yeah, we can rank them first.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because Matt's going to take all the good ones like last time. I got roasted, by the way, in the comments section, and I'm not for that. Come on now.
You got roasted again, dude. Mike threw you under the bus too for your mascots. He didn't comment though. He put in like the group. He put in like the Instagram DM. You got to call him out for that. You got to put it out there. But he said Will. What was his official chat he had? I mean, he threw Will under the bus. He said by far the worst draft was Will's.
Not even. I had a great draft.
He said Will's picks are brutal.
Will's picks are brutal.
How? They're mostly chalk, but it's fine.
You can't really like take Mike's word for it too much, just because like I picked two of his school's mascots, so
this guy's a show.
He naturally is just gonna love it.
You were conspiring. Like that's a bunch of BS.
No, Big Red's a pretty awesome mascot.
Who gives a shit about the UC Irvine
the anteater
giraffe or whatever, the anteater, whatever it is?
Wow. You're going to cause some enemies right now. You just Peter the Anteater. Just Will's like, no, we don't like you. Who cares about Peter the Anteater?
Wow. Yeah, everyone's just being haters. It's not bad. It wasn't a bad draft. I thought it was pretty good for being unprepared too.
Some of the people, if you haven't seen it yet, it's on our reels. It's also on TikTok. People on TikTok were upset. Cosmo wasn't picked, the BYU guy. That's probably a BYU fan. Somebody said Brutus not BYU.
They're not allowed. They.
I agree. I'm not a big BYU guy, but
no.
Cosmo was on the list. Somebody said Brutus the Buckeye. I hate Brutus the Buckeye.
You don't like any mascot. Like you have this.
I literally just picked 5 last week that I liked. I love Raider Red. I think Raider Red is a top 5 mascot.
No, that doesn't. No, you're not allowed to. No, because you talk smack about that school all the time.
I hate that school. I love their mascot.
That's fair because it's a rival. You can't. That's not fair. You can't do that.
I love their mascot. What do you mean? You just said I don't like any mascot, and I said I love Raider Red.
But I love Raider Red. You talk about Texas Tech. You can't say that. That would be like. I'm trying to think of a metaphor off the top of my head right now, but you can't talk about the school that you hate the most and then you like their mascot. No, that's not fair.
Maybe it's not fair. You just called me a hater, and I gave you a school that I hate, and I love their mascot. You got to give credit where credit's due. They got a great mascot. Raider Red is awesome.
Wow.
There's mascots I like, and there's mascots I don't like. And Bruce the Buckeye's a mascot I don't like. Imposter frog. Shut up, Cole Parker. Come on, man. Raider Red's great. If you don't like Raider Red, I don't know what to tell you. Dude. The mustache is great. He's got his little gun. He's got his 10-gallon hat. It's awesome.
He's a great Muppet.
It's a great Muppet. To me, to describe a mascot is like, how well do you think they would do in the Muppets? I think Raider Red would be a great Muppet. Guy looks like Yosemite Sam.
Probably wins a lot of fights against other mascots too.
If he's anything like Yosemite Sam, then he probably doesn't win a lot of fights. But
that guy's bad luck.
That being said, Cole Parker 19. After tonight, you got to flush it, dude. You got to flush the loss. It was a tough loss in Lubbock. We split with Texas Tech. Got to be ready for Baylor next week.
Yeah, dust yourself off.
Yeah, dude. It's a tough night. Tough night watching Aztecs lose. Tech beat TCU. It's tough night all around. All right, so we've been ranking things on the show. We top 5. Last week we did our top 5 game day or
sports TV theme songs.
That's also on our social media. Go out and check that out. We drafted mascots. Tonight we're going to rank, to finish up the show, the best sports video games.
Best or favorite? I think it's favorite.
Favorite?
Yeah, it's like your favorite. Like,
what is the difference?
What's the difference?
Well, it's like my favorite games may not be the best ones that have been.
That's best to you, though.
All right.
So you're
what would determine the best video game that,
any game,
statistically?
Right?
Like, how could a video game be the best, like, factual?
Well, ones that are generally loved by people.
Wait, what? So okay, so you can rate. It can go back however
favorite.
long.
Let's do favorite. Yeah, favorite video game. Sports video games.
Sports video game.
You want to start?
I'll start because it looks like Will's thinking. All right.
Oh, wow. Solo mode really zooms in on your face. There you go.
All right. Number 5. It's going to be a wild pick here. Number 5. NASCAR Thunder 2004. All-time video game. I was like 5 or 6 when it came out, and I probably played that every single day for about.
This guy said NASCAR. Would you say NASCAR?
NASCAR Thunder 2004. All-time game for the PS2. Number 4, MLB The Show 2007. The one with David Wright on the cover. I played that for probably 2 years straight. I had it on the PSP too. Remember the PSPs? Those things were money in the car. I had it for the PS2 as well. I have so many hours logged. It kind of kickstarted my love for baseball too. I think that plays a big role in
MLB The Show 07.
Yes.
07, he says.
07. Right. Number 3, I'm going to go Madden 20 with Patrick Mahomes on the cover. That was like a COVID thing because you had nothing to do. You just played a lot of video games. I think I had like a 10-year season that I just rolled through with the Chiefs. Game was very glitchy on the PS4. I believe it was still PS4 at that time. That's number 3. Number 2, I'm going to go Madden 25. Back when it was on the 360. Another game that I logged a bunch of hours in high school doing connected franchise with my guy David. Great game. The Cowboys were good that year too, so they had a good roster to use. And then number 1 video game of all time, MLB The Show 21 with Fernando on the cover. There's just something about that game between like the gameplay, Tatis being on the cover, the soundtrack, the rosters, everything about it. It was on the PS5 too. I think it was the first game on the PS5. You could create your own stadium. Hours logged in Diamond Dynasty like crazy.
That was pretty cool.
The Show 21, number 1.
All right, let's recap real quick.
Number 5, NASCAR Thunder 2004. Number 4, MLB The Show 07. Number 3, Madden 20. What did I say? Madden 25?
You said Madden 20.
Madden 20. Number 3, Madden 20. Number 2, Madden 25. And number 1, MLB The Show 21.
Solid. What's with the Funja, Will? Why are you?
Oh, I was reading something. Sorry.
We're gonna get to all the people that are commenting on Instagram and Twitter when we're done. Are you ready for your top 5, Will?
No, I'm gonna let you go. I had to go first last time, so I want to go last this time.
You did go first on the ranking last time. You went first on the draft.
You went first in the draft.
Yeah, the ranking you went last, I think.
Wait,
it's fine. It's fine.
No, I went first.
You went first in the draft. You went last on the thing. Check the video, dude. I posted it.
We have the all 22, man. You can go back and take a look.
You picked the other one last. Anyway. All right. Top 5 video games, sports video games of all time. Oh, this is going to be tough. I know my number 1 for sure. I know my number 2. My number 3. Okay. I'm going to go with Madden 2002 as my number 5 because that was like the first game I ever had, like a sports video game. So that's one that's one of my favorites. And then I like MVP Baseball 05, the one with Manny Ramirez on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I used to play MVP Baseball more than I played the other MLB one before it was the show. I remember those games too, but MLB 05 MLB or MVP baseball 05 is my number 4. My number 3 game, again, God, I feel like I'm gonna be blanking on. I feel like after I'm done with this list, I'm gonna go home and like look at all the game and be like, are you kidding me? I'm gonna go with I had a motocross game that I thought was really sick when I was a kid. I don't remember. It was like 02, like Ricky
X Unleashed?
Carmichael's on it. No, like it's like Ricky Carmichael's on it, and you got to like race. You can make your bike like you're racing all the courses, whatever. And then you get in the stadium series and stuff like that. That game was legit on the PS2. I'm gonna go 3 on that one. Number 2 is MVP College Baseball 06, the one with the Texas Longhorns player on it. That game is still one of the coolest games ever. If my PS2 wasn't super laggy on it, I'd play that right now. It's a lot like MVP Baseball 05 for like Major League. So like they do like the batting practice you could do with the ramps and hitting the tractor and stuff like that. But then you play through like you could do a season. You could do a full season that's just like a college baseball season. They got the regionals, the super regionals, the College World Series. It's back at Rosenblatt Stadium too, those days. And it's pretty fun. It was cool. The college baseball game was legit. I miss when they did like the March Madness too. The March Madness game I had wasn't as cool, so I'm not having it on my list.
I got one of them,
but
I
that's
got the one of KD on the cover.
The one I have has Mello on it. Mello for
That's an old
Syracuse
one.
is on
That's
it, dude.
like
Yeah,
2002 or 3.
it's I think it's 04, 03, 04 again. That game's tight too, but that's not on my top 5. And then number 1 all time is NCAA 14. I liked all the NCAA games. Like I remember like the one with Carson Palmer on it. I used to play all the time, but since the one I've played the most is NCAA 14, and I've now done the remastered one, or the what's it called? The revamped.
Yeah,
the revamp's pretty cool. I like the revamped because you can do like the college football playoff on it and stuff. That was a pain in the ass installing all of that, but it's been cool. They got all the new uniforms on there and stuff too. But just to recap, number 5 for me was Madden 2002. Number 4 was that what did I already forgot what I did. Number 4 was
MVP baseball.
Was that? Yeah, number 4 is MVP 04
well.
or 05, whatever. And then 3 was the Supercross one I had. 2 was college baseball, and then number 1 was NCAA. So Madden 02, MVP baseball 05, Supercross game, MVP college baseball 06, and then number 1 was the NCAA football 2014. That is my top 5 for you, Will.
Well, you stole a bunch of mine, so we have good taste. So maybe that's why we're friends. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, so little tweaks. Number 5, I'm gonna go Wii Sports. That was an absolute blast. Whether it was the bowling, the home run derby, the tennis,
that was pretty fun,
or golf, bow and arrow. I mean, it was awesome.
Did you ever play? I don't want to interrupt you. Did you ever play Wii Outdoor Sports?
Yeah, like the Wii Sports Resort.
The Wii Sports Resort was badass because they had the 3-point contest.
I was gonna say the little
pop. Yeah, the 3-point pop and shoot is
it got to a point. It was too like I did like it. You know, I remember like being Christmas time. It was like, you know, like middle school, high school. I played with like, you know, my little brother. It was cool. It's just the OG Wii Sports one. That one hits home. You know, the remote, the strap, and it flies off. And you break it, and the batteries go everywhere. It's awesome.
That was like, dude, like Little League baseball on the Wii. It was badass, dude. That game was fun.
It was. It's cool. I mean, the Wii, very underrated. Number 4, I don't care. I'm gonna keep the same MVP baseball with ManRam on the front. It was. I don't know if it was because I started getting phased out of video games by then. I've never really been a big like the show guy. Like I've played, it's cool. Just never really got a hard on like certain other dudes that love playing it. But I remember vividly as a kid playing MVP Baseball 05, and it was awesome. Number 3, NBA 2K16 with Harden on the cover. That was just prime. I mean, whether it was him, you know, Curry was good, Durant on the Thunder, LeBron, Kobe. That was a really fun game. Number 2, this is what I was saying, Braden. You kind of took most of mine. I loved NCAA, you know, 14. I could go, you know, 06 with Desmond Howard, you know, with the USC teams. They were always solid. really any year, it's so fun. You do like the Heisman mode and all that, creative player. And then number 1, I'm gonna go Madden 08 with Vince Young on the cover. That's when the Chargers were just dominant. I mean, anytime Tomlinson touched the ball, whether it was rookie or all Madden, he would score. You would always want to play the Patriots because they were always good. Playing against a computer, you could play like that was after that one weird year where Madden had like the giant light that would like
oh yeah,
like
the spot,
enormous.
The visions, like
the vision cone,
dude,
yeah. And then like the shittier quarterbacks, like Rex Grossman was like it was like a sliver, So
Peyton Manning was the entire field. It was
Manning, Brady, like Phillip Rivers had Ben Roethlisberger, but then Madden 08 kind of like that was the first one I believe, or maybe the second one on the Xbox 360. So like the graphics, they were enhanced. It was way better, and so. Very nostalgic, kind of going down, memory lane with some of these games. It kind of takes you back. I'm sure we missed a bunch, and a bunch of people are talking a bunch of mess, saying, "Oh, how did you forget this one? How did you forget that?" FIFA was fun growing up too. But yeah, those are my 5.
Recap real quick, just go through them.
Number 5, Wii Sports. Number 4, MVP Baseball 05 with Manny Ramirez on the cover. Number 3, NBA 2K16 with James Harden on the cover. Number 2, since you took NCAA 14, I'll say NCAA 06 with Desmond Howard, Heisman pose on the cover. And number 1, Madden 08, the Cheesecake King, Vince Young on the cover because the Chargers dominated that year.
The Cheesecake King.
That is still one of the funniest stories ever. But he was good in that game too. Like he was, he would just run around. He was like Mike Vick, basically.
Let's get the comments in here. Cole Parker 19, NCAA football 14, not even close, right? I mean, everybody, this is a hell of a game.
The 14's, honestly.
I think everybody says 14's the best just because it's the latest one, and they haven't made a new one after that, so people have played it a lot more. Nate Taylor _54, PGA 06. I never had a PGA game.
I never had one.
Yes.
But like I remember playing it at my friend's house going, this game is super fun. Like, so
oh my God.
I that's a solid pick. Cole Parker says Wii Sports is underrated. He says no FIFA is wild. I never got into FIFA. I think the concept of the game is really cool. I was never good at it, so I never really bought it. But I know that was a big one. Eli in the chat. NCAA 14, Slugfest 2009, Blitz the League, and the Bigs 2.
Those are great calls. Slugfest and Blitz 2 are great calls.
He put MLB 2K13 on there as well, and he said Madden 12 was goated too.
That's a great. You know what?
Eli's around your age.
I like those 4. He is
so
around my age.
That makes sense.
I mean, I could have done one of these of just like baseball video games.
I probably could too. I totally forgot about Little League Baseball. That game was fun.
Remember like Power Pros? Remember that game with the little animated dudes?
You play Mario Baseball? You ever play Mario Baseball?
No. But the Bigs was a good series.
That's a difficult game. Mario Baseball. Good stuff, guys. All right, we got a draft, though. What do you got for us? This seems very complicated.
It doesn't seem that complicated. All right.
I swear to God, Matt picks like the most obscure ones. Like, it can never just be simple.
Is Matt getting the first pick this time?
Like a 4-course meal, like instead of just picking the place to get it from.
We're gonna see if you can cook, dude. We're gonna see like what your chef taste is here.
All right, so you want me to run through this real quick?
I mean, I get the concept. So essentially, what we're gonna do, it's kind of like our draft, but you got 5 rounds, right? The picks. We're gonna snake drafting again. You're trying to build the best sit down chain restaurant possible. So you're gonna pick. You got positions on here. You basically got to fill on your draft board. So you gotta pick a bread. You gotta pick an app. You gotta pick an entree. You gotta pick a side, and you gotta pick a dessert. When we're talking chain restaurant meal, are we talking like do you want specific food at a specific place or just a food item in general? I think food item in general is probably a lot easier.
Food item in general is fine. If you want to get really specific for some extra brownie
like
points.
You could be like the Outback Steakhouse Bloomin' Onion for your app or something like that. Okay.
Right. But like if you're going to say a steak, you're going to assume it's going to be a pretty damn good steak. No
right. Well, I think maybe cut a like fillet or something like that.
Sure. But
we're not focusing on the restaurant then? Like I don't.
You can if you want.
because I thought that was
the food item. Well,
yeah.
We could do it like that. I mean, you could pick whatever your favorite place is that you get that at anyway. I mean,
well, no, that's what I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. That's fun. Now, when you say chain restaurant, are you talking about like fast casual chains? Like we're talking like Chili's and Applebee's?
That counts.
Okay?
That counts. That's fair game.
Well, I'm not saying it counts, but like, are we trying to make one of those? Or are we trying to make like some super gourmet meal here?
No, you're trying to make. It's almost like your last meal, right? It's just
where
would you go for these
last meal is going to be Chili's, like of all things.
I'm gonna swing it, dude. I'm gonna make it simpler. Give me the 5 items of those items that you would have at a sports bar.
Oh, so that changes things.
Well, yeah, but like, let's make it simple. Like, it's ties in with what we're talking about. It's simple. Like, sports bar food's not gonna be your last meal. Like, that's different. So we're gonna go. We'll do like, you need a bread, an appetizer, an entree, a side, and a dessert while you're watching a game at a fast casual restaurant.
And then I can pick dessert first, and
you can pick whatever you want first. Yeah, you know your first pick.
All right.
Who's going second? Will, you going second?
Yeah, I'll go second. That's fine.
Right. Why are you laughing?
Matt's the type of guy to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. This is last meal.
B-dubs, dude. He likes paying extra for ranch.
I want to get medium bone-in wings for my last meal. Thank you.
Everybody tuned in. Everybody tuned in. If you want to play yourself, you can throw in the comments. Tommy Morris already said chicken tenders, so
nice.
He's taking that for his deal. Go ahead. You got the first pick. I might have to like pull the sheet up and like write this down.
You can do that. All right, dessert. I'm gonna go dessert number 1. Pizookie from BJ's. Chocolate chip with vanilla ice cream on top. It's the best dessert you can have at any chain.
That's
BJ's Pizookie.
That's pretty good, dude. I can't believe you wasted a first round pick on that, but that's pretty good.
Sometimes you need a good left tackle.
Like there's no right answer for the.
You got shit on for picking Bucky the Badger, and you're never gonna live that down.
It's not a fucking bad pick. It's
a terrible pick. It's a terrible pick. You should have traded. You should have traded your draft pick, as you said.
You know what? I'm glad I took it because it pisses everyone off. It's like when Anthony Bennett went number 1 overall before, Joel Embiid. Like that's how bad it was. Anyways, okay. Do I have to go? I can pop around, right? Like,
give me whatever you want.
All right, appetizer, chips and salsa. I guess. God damn, I have to pick from a chain.
Dude, I mean, chips and salsa at every place is kind of the same.
Chili's is goated.
It is.
It's solid, sure. Again, I'm dying on my deathbed. I'm getting Chili's as my last meal, but yeah, sure.
Ignore the deathbed thing. That's just he threw that out there. No, ignore that.
We spent 2 hours on Trey Lance last episode and 2 hours on the deathbed this episode. Chips and salsa is my pick.
Are we trying to this is for ourselves, right?
This
is not like
Braden Surprenant.
All right, cool. I'm going to go.
This is on your deathbed.
The thing is I got to be smart here because I don't think you're going to. I got to make sure you don't pick these things. I'm going to go with. Oh man, this is actually really, really difficult. I'm going to go mac and cheese as a side because that's a pretty solid. It's a pretty solid
French
side.
Fries. Oh,
dude, but they
because we don't know what the entree is the thing. Matt's gonna pick something so.
Dude, maybe like loaded tots would be my entree. You know, I mean that could be kind of psychotic like that.
Tater tots have a huge comeback, by the way.
Tater tots are phenomenal, but I'm gonna go with the mac and cheese as a side. Again, we're thinking fast casual, so I don't want to get too crazy on some of this stuff. Dessert at like a fast casual place. Oh, it's tough. All right, appetizer. I'm just gonna pick it because I want this. I'm doing fried pickles, but like not like the spears, like the
those are the little chips.
Yeah, the chips, fried pickles.
Like the chips.
That's like one of my go-tos all the time. That is like one of my go-tos all the time. I should have had this other thing for bread, but I'm gonna have to wait. Perez, your turn. I mean, sorry,
it's Will.
All right, I want to go side. I mean, if we're doing fast casual, is it like a sit down? French
dude,
fries.
It's like a Chili's. I don't know how
Give
to.
me Red Robin steak fries.
Wow, endless steak fries. This guy knows ball.
Seasoning. Yeah, give me those.
Ball.
Fries go. It goes with burger sandwiches. You could eat it with sushi if you wanted to. You just got to apply yourself. It's good every time.
All right. You got 2 picks.
All right. I'm going to go bread here. Texas Roadhouse rolls.
Wow.
Quick little story on this too. My buddy Jake, I'm gonna leave his last name out of this, but he went to Texas Roadhouse. He goes there with his dad like once a month.
Eating the peanuts.
Like 4 years ago, they got a to-go thing of buns, and what they did is they went home and his dad was putting buns on the candles, and he left them there for 4 years. They're still there in his living room. These little like buns from Texas Roadhouse are sitting on top of candles. Honest to God, I'll send you.
Don't tell Will that he might stick his finger in there on accident.
Well, he also lives in Phoenix, so if you see a guy walking out of Texas Roadhouse with a to-go thing of buns, yes, exactly, bun candles. I gotta get you in on that.
I can't remember the last time I went to Texas Roadhouse, but the peanuts on the ground was one of the coolest things. Just being able to litter in public, just openly, and just throwing
there's a barbecue place in Temecula that does it. It's called Sweet Lumpies. It's like the same
Sweet Lumpies.
Yeah, it's not very. Good.
Five Guys.
I just feel like after COVID, they switched a bunch of rules. Like you're not allowed to do that anymore.
What's your next pick?
I'm gonna go appetizer here because I gotta marinate on this entree. Yard House calamari. I'm a sucker for
that's
good
really good
fried calamari.
That's a solid pick.
Good call. Good call.
Calamari is really good.
All right, Will, you're back up.
Damn. I gotta think about the dessert. I'll go bread. This is pretty chalk. The Olive Garden breadsticks, pretty solid. You just dough yourself to death. When you go there every once in 5 years, you eat like 17 of them. You're like, oh, I can barely eat my entree. So give me those.
All right. I'm also going to take a bread and I'm going to go East Coast on you. And I'm going to go with soft pretzels as my bread.
Oh,
See, that could be an app, but that is definitely in the bread category. You go on the East Coast, they give you soft pretzels instead of like bread at some places. So I'm going soft pretzels as my bread steal, if you will.
Pretzels and cheese at a ballpark too. Very underrated. So good.
So good.
It just slaps every time.
And then my entree, dude, I can go a lot of different directions, but it kind of depends on the stuff. For some reason, like at a fast casual bar place, I really like a buffalo chicken wrap. I'm going buffalo chicken wrap.
So is it? Wait, whose turn is it now? Is it Matt's?
You don't like the buffalo chicken wrap? Nobody likes it.
Well, doesn't. I mean,
I don't want a burger. I was thinking like Philly cheesesteak, chicken
here,
Caesar, dude. Buffalo chicken wrap's money, dude. Like fried chicken in there. Your hang-up's the Caesar salad dressing? That's your hang-up on this?
I'm a picky eater.
Yeah, well, this is a lousy game for you to be in then. All right, Will, you're up. You got an entree and a dessert to pick.
And a dessert. God, I'm still deciding on. Man, this is tough. I'm trying to think of desserts. God, I need to get more creative. You know what? I'll do. God, Pizookie is a good one too because I love cookies and ice cream. Man. I will go with a Oreo cookie milkshake as a dessert.
Cookies and cream shake?
Yeah, cookies and cream.
It's funny. I just made myself
There's a couple other ones. I don't know.
I made myself a peanut butter Oreo shake the other day.
Oh, that sounds good.
It was fire. I will never. That's a once in every 2 years thing unless I'm going to beef and bun because it's a lot of dairy. All right, Perez, you're up. You got 2 picks. You got an entree and a side.
Man, it's gonna be really lame. This is where I lose a draft here. Side.
Yeah, I don't want to hear shit from you. Make another buffalo chicken wrap.
This might be a dumb question here. Are we counting pasta as an entree here or a side? It's an entree, right?
Pasta?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got like a pasta dish, for sure.
Entree?
Oh, yeah.
Give me a good fettuccine Alfredo from anywhere.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Put some Parmesan on there. I'm fine. That's a good day at the yard. Fettuccine Alfredo.
It's hard to screw that up. It's basically just like adult mac and cheese. What's
Yeah.
your side then? You're going to have more bread. That's a lot of bread, dude. Look at your thing.
I'm trying to splurge here.
You got a lot of carbs. You better run a marathon before you show up to this place.
You'd run one after eating all the carbs.
Do both.
Yeah, hit the Peloton.
Side.
Dude, you might have to do a side salad with all the Alfredo. Dude, you just want to go to an Italian restaurant. That's basically what you put out there.
Yes, I mean, any sort of French fries is fine with me. I don't know if I can take that because
you can't. He took steak fries. You can't.
You can't take fries.
Here, I might have to go
No,
salad.
he took fries. He was just more specific.
He was just more
steak fries
specific on
from
his
Red
answer.
Robin. Nothing like a side of tots with my fettuccine Alfredo.
Nah.
Guy's gonna forfeit a draft pick here in a second.
He's gonna pull a Mike Tice from the Vikings when he ran out of time on the first round pick. He had 3 months of prep and 15 minutes on the draft on television and still didn't submit a pick on time.
That's a different level of incompetence right there.
Why not? Let's go hit a little Caesar salad.
Oh yeah, Caesar guy over here.
I am a Caesar guy.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do it right and make sure you give me the size that I ask for and not the large salad when I order the
guy's too busy.
Side salad.
Too busy watching videos of Bob. All right, Will, your last pick.
For an entree, man, see, because you took the chicken, because I was thinking of like a Nashville
hot chicken
sandwich. Yeah, but you already have chicken. Man, there's a tie-up I have right
burger,
now.
Cheesesteak.
Yeah, I mean,
I was a torn with like that cheesesteak.
So I'm tied between two because it's either going to be because I'm leaning either a bacon double cheeseburger. It's just good anywhere really, or pizza. To be honest, like pizza at a bar, if it's a good spot, it can hit.
Pizza's money.
Yeah. Let's go against the grain. I'll take pizza. I'll take a half cheese, half pepperoni pizza.
There you go. That's very, very fast casual of you. It's hard to screw up a pizza. That leaves me with dessert.
Very hard to. Very.
I'm a sucker for creme brulee, so that's gonna be my thing every time.
Oh, bougie. Okay.
I'm the dessert, dude. I love a good creme brulee. If I could spell it. So that's which I can't.
I know. Just shout out Google Assist there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's whatever. So I'm gonna go. So with our draft, I ended up with soft pretzels for a bread, fried pickles for my appetizer, an entree of a buffalo chicken wrap, side of mac and cheese, and a dessert of creme brulee to top it off. Will Galvez, breadsticks, and chips and salsa
for bread. Oh, okay.
Go through it.
Oh, sorry.
When you pair it all together, it's a very odd meal that you just put together.
I mean, we're basically at like the fucking Golden Corral here. So
yeah, guy with the hometown buffet for his sit down chain restaurant.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Hometown buffet for real. Yeah, I might as well just have some fish in there as well.
Guy with the soup plantation.
I had breadsticks for bread, appetizer, chips and salsa. The entree, a half cheese, half pepperoni pizza with a side of steak fries, and to top it off with some dessert in an Oreo cookies and cream shake.
That is a 12-year-old's dream right there. That meal. That is a 12-year-old birthday party if I've ever seen one. That, you know what that is? That is a team that thought they hit a home run on the draft, and they get back like, what is this? What we drafted 5 wideouts? Like that's
like 2020 when like the Angels picked all pitchers.
Yes,
and then they like went back and you're like,
you just drafted like Artie Moreno. You're Artie Moreno of the draft.
No, that's solid. It's solid.
Oh man. All right.
Well, I mean, God, Matt picking this most obscure draft. Like hey, Matt, go. Let's hear.
Don't blame, dude. Don't blame the game.
This guy's blaming the commissioner
That's
for his own draft.
Jesus.
All right, bread. Texas Roadhouse rolls. Appetizer, fried calamari. It's got to be fried. Entree, fettuccine Alfredo pasta with some Parmesan cheese on top. Side, Caesar salad. Dessert, BJ's Pizookie. Chocolate chip cookie with the vanilla ice cream.
That's the flavor cookie you got?
Yeah, with no chocolate syrup either. I don't want chocolate syrup on my vanilla ice cream.
What?
What?
I want the cookie and then the vanilla ice cream, and that's it. I don't want the little Hershey syrup drizzle.
You can do a little drizzle.
You
do a
what
little
the fuck
drizzle.
is wrong with you? What is this guy's a psychopath?
Would you not,
hold on. I gotta ask you this
Matt's
question.
the type of guy to ask for the cookie with the ice cream on the side. Can you put that in the cup, please? Like, I don't want it touching the cookie.
I have to ask you this question, Will, because I was not there when this happened, and Mike asked me this question because this guy's he's a psychopath. If you had, let's have breakfast, right?
Yeah, when we were in Vegas at Hash a Go-Go.
If you're at breakfast,
good spot. Good spot.
It is a good spot. If you're at breakfast, and you have like eggs, a meat, and like potatoes. Do you eat all of the potatoes first before you eat the rest of your meal? Do you eat all of one thing before you eat the next thing?
Wait, so are you asking, am I leading off with potatoes or?
No, I'm asking you, do you have like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, or you just eat all of one thing and then move on to the next thing on your plate?
There's been certain meals where I have to eat in portions, but with breakfast, I like to mix the egg with the protein. So whatever meat I get, it's good to mix with. Yeah.
This guy ate, would you eat your eggs and then at the end you just ate your breakfast potatoes just by themselves?
Yeah, I had eggs and my meat together, and then I had my potatoes at the end.
Do you eat your fries after your burger?
Yeah.
No, the mix. Yeah, you guys are both nuts. That's terrible. You do a little bit of this, a little bit of that over the palate. It's great.
I see this is where it gets crazy for me because I don't know. I saw this on Vine like 10 years ago. I think it's from Moose.
God, age yourself, swimming, my guy.
There's nothing wrong with Vine. I know what Vine is.
I love Vine. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I love Vine. So it's called swimming, right? So you eat the entire fast food order. So like, let's say you go to McDonald's, right? You get the Big Mac, fries, and the drinks. You smack the burger and fries, but you can't take a drink until it's all done. And I did that then. I literally do that every single time now.
You don't drink any of your drink until your meal's done?
No. I eat
That's more psychotic than this guy. Are you nuts?
It's swimming. It's called swimming.
It's called
like
what?
Let's say you go to. It's called swimming. You eat all the food first. You don't take one drink. And so you eat everything and you wash it all down and you basically end up drinking like half of it. Yeah, it's called swimming.
He's like Joey Chestnut having like 18 hot dogs and then like a little bit of water and then it's just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, it turned into a challenge.
Does it while he's still eating.
But he's having 18 hot dogs. I mean, it's just swimming around in there.
Will's dipping his wieners into the water and then eating them.
Whoa,
he's
pause.
His pizza and steak fries.
Oh my God. I thought this guy was nuts for eating his fries after his cheeseburger. You don't even drink your liquid until after your meal is done?
No, you go
your
swimming.
The soda is like your dessert?
Well, I don't drink soda. So I either get like a sweet tea or like a lemonade.
Sweet tea.
Yeah.
Damn, that stuff hits.
It's really good. Or, if I go to Chick-fil-A, Arnold Palmer, or it's just lemonade. I don't like soda. I haven't had soda. I can't remember the last time I had soda. So I cut that out after high school.
You get to a certain age where you start drinking alcohol, you don't need to have soda anymore.
I think, right? Because you start especially if you like beer, like I can't just sip on a Coke. Like I couldn't finish it. There's no way.
Once in a while, like a good Dr. Pepper, a little
I've
Coke.
Completely reversed that trend in the last 2 months. Where I've stopped casually drinking alcohol.
So you drink sodas?
And I would just pound a Coke Zero.
That's probably worse for you.
Worse for you.
Yeah, you're just drinking a bunch of chemicals.
Well,
it's chemicals, dude. Sugar. Yeah, but it's you're just drinking a bunch of chemicals.
I just need something to drink that isn't water, and it's
tea.
No, I'm not a tea guy.
Coffee.
I'm not a coffee guy. I'm not a coffee guy. I'm not a tea guy.
Okay, are you not a coffee guy because you want to be I'm not a coffee guy?
No, I just generally do not. No,
he's just being soft.
I generally do not like the taste.
You know what?
Dude,
I'll give you a free pass.
Taste.
I didn't start drinking coffee religiously until I was 24. So
All right.
it
Well, I
takes
got
a
2
while.
months.
I didn't start drinking coffee until I started working at Starbucks, and I got to try it for free and build my love of coffee up. Same with tea. Like, I got to try the teas all the time, and I was like, oh, I like tea. I think you just need to start trying it. Start with Will Galvez's sweet tea, and then you can work your way down. Take less and less sugar out of it, or more and more sugar out of it. That's all it is.
And make sure you're swimming when you eat. Make sure
that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm done with that conversation. That is so stupid. Nate Taylor, 54. Cheese sticks, filet mignon, and creme brulee. Money. Cole Parker says OG sticks, Petco Park nachos, Brigantine fish tacos, Baskin Robbins ice cream cake.
You had me in the first half. That was a heavy hitter.
Urban Pizza from Nate Taylor. Well, you better agree with Cole Parker because he says you win easily. You just basically ordered an Italian food restaurant.
Yeah, we figured out I really like Italian.
Yeah,
food
you really wanted to go to Filippi's for dinner. Is basically what.
It's not dog Filippi's. It's delicious.
Filippi's is money. That'll do it. Another hour and a half. We wanted to make this one quick because some of us got to be up at 5 a.m, and we did it. Thanks to all of you for joining us this evening. Talked a lot of Aztec basketball, talked college basketball in general, kind of went on a nice little tangent with college sports, and then we broke down some of our picks, did our top 5. If you want to see all of that, again, we'll post it on social media. Follow us at Gaslamp's Finest on all social media accounts. We are now on TikTok as well. You also follow us individually. I'm B_SURP on all social media, including TikTok. Matt Perez is Matt Perez SR. What's your handle?
24.
Matt Perez 24. Don't you have an underscore in there?
Nope.
Oh, is
only
that
on Instagram.
Oh, okay. And then Will Galvez is sniffing a candle, but WILLL Galvez on the deal. The Scraby candle. That's the joke of the day. That was
the Scrabelingus candle. Smells
That's
good.
right.
It smells really good.
We'll be back next week at hopefully an earlier time. For Will Galvez, for Matt Perez, I'm Braden Surprenant. Signing off. We'll talk to you guys next week. Be sure to check out all of our stuff on YouTube and all our social media accounts as we will post throughout the week.